Hello everyone, welcome in this webinar. Just before starting, we will wait a bit that everyone can come. It's a crazy way that this time we have more than 100 registrants. So we are really pleased to welcome you all. I think we are on trendy topic. So I hope you will enjoy this webinar. Okay. Okay, we want to arrive. Perfect. So I'm pleased to introduce you Tamas Szirtes as a Group Innovation Director at SOA People and SAP mentor, who will be the speaker for this session. So feel free to ask your question in the chat at any time. We will answer them during the Q&A session at the end. So don't hesitate if you have question. We will come back. So don't be scared to put your question inside, and after we'll come back at the end. Tamas, the floor is yours. Let's enjoy.
Okay, thanks,
and
Jeremy.
Everyone.
Thanks, Jeremy, for the intro. So, yeah, welcome also from my side. My name is Tamas Szirtes. Indeed, I'm responsible for innovation at SOA People. I've been, of course, in my innovation role, always busy with the latest topics. Now, in the 27 years, it changed a lot. In the beginning was internet, e-commerce, or new topics, and of course, nowadays it's AI. So I'm looking forward to introduce you to this topic. And as the title says, yeah, no more theory. I will try to make it very concrete and focus on how you can actually get started and what is real from SAP. You know, there is a huge layer of marketing on it, obviously, but I will go below that layer and talk about what is real. So, okay, before just a few words about us, SOA People. So we are a European partner, a platinum partner of SAP. Actually, the only thing we do is SAP. We are fully focused on it. We are present in 10 countries, what you see on the map, 1,200 plus experts. And yeah, we have a big mix of nationalities. And also in this webinar, we know that there are people from many different countries. We do pretty much everything around SAP, so full implementations, to support, to help, spot on consulting, and of course innovations. We have our own products. We have credit management and asset management, our two flagship products. But today we are talking about AI, so I will make the bridge to the AI already. When you look at our capabilities, of course, it all starts with ourselves. We are transforming ourselves as well. No? AI is new for everyone. We have a whole community, very active, constantly growing. We have done an AI contest to come to a lot of new ideas. We are adding AI to our own solutions, which I just mentioned. And this helps us this enables us to really do advisory for our customers in terms of strategy, roadmap. A lot of customers are asking us when to use SAP AI, when to use non-SAP AI. Now, even today, we will talk about such topics. Then, of course, in a few minutes, I will introduce you to all the standard AI solutions from SAP. And yeah, that's as a platinum partner, of course, that's what we do. We implement them at our customers. But we know that there is a lot of opportunity in going beyond the standard. And then the challenge is to come to the right use cases. How AI can be applied to your processes. Now, this is a big part of today's session. That's what we do. And this way, eventually, through this Business Explorer workshop approach, we get to differentiating AI solutions. So AI solutions which really truly add value to the business in procurement, in manufacturing, in sales, in different areas. Okay, so that was just really quick introduction to what we do as SOA people, and let's dive into the topic of AI directly. So where are we? So of course, AI is a big topic nowadays. Everybody's talking about it, but I want to introduce a couple of terms to be clear on what we are talking about. So AI is a big umbrella term. Inside AI, there are some older techniques like machine learning, some newer techniques like generative AI, which got really popular in the last 3 years. Of course, I think everybody knows about the large language models. I think less people know about another important technique, which is called retrieval augmented generation, and that technique allows us to add additional information to the large language models. And why is that important? Because we all know that the main challenge we have with the LLMs, large language models, is that they hallucinate. They are very smart, I think surprisingly smart, but sometimes they just make up things. And that's, of course, not acceptable for a business context where we are in. But that challenge can be tackled by RAG, so the retrieval augmented generation, where we can feed our own data to the large language model so that the LLM looks into facts and then stops making up facts. So here we can connect to systems, we can add the whole repository of documents, whether SharePoint or whatever you have. So it's actually an important technique. But yeah, what we see that this whole area is booming. We are talking about the proliferation of LLMs. A lot of new LLMs coming up weekly. That means new companies are starting up. Billions or hundreds of billions dollar investments are almost daily business nowadays. There is a huge adoption in this area. And okay, this brings up a lot of questions, not just in the business aspect, but also even philosophical, where it's leading, what's the future of humanity, what it means for our government, a lot of discussions. But okay, let's stay closer to the technology and what it can bring for business. AI is evolving and each time able to do more. It really started with text. I mean, ChatGPT, you ask a question, you type it in, so that's text, and you get an answer as text. That's really the first big modality which was working very well already years ago. Of course, code, so programming code, software is also text. So, that immediately goes together. That also works very well. But of course, nowadays we can do image, audio, video. Now we are talking about 3D because, physical AI. So with robots, it's important also to understand the 3D world. Then the context window is growing, which means that you can each time feed more information and get longer answers. It's getting more efficient, more personalized. Something which came into the game, more or less a year ago, was reasoning. So really, deeper thinking. And what is currently the hot topic is tool use, because ChatGPT is kind of passive. It's reactive. You have to ask a question and then you get an answer. But where we are going now is that it's not just a smart brain, but really an orchestrator which can use different tools. Tools can be any software, so could be simple things as sending an email, but could be complex things as interacting with your SAP ERP system. And then it becomes more proactive and becomes really more, it's instead of just a chatbot, it becomes really an agent which can do things and even proactively. Now, just to give you an impression of this situation with the LLMs, I just had to update this slide this morning because it's changing so fast that I didn't even want to show you something from last week. Just in the last 1 week, if you see the top right corner of this slide, then the leader changed 3 or 4 times just within the last week. So XAI came up with a new model few hours later, and they became the leader. Then few hours later, Google came up with Gemini 3, big step ahead. They become the leader. Then yeah, you see it's non-stop. Claude is now Anthropic. Anthropic is the company. Claude is the model. You know, that just came out also a few hours ago, and again took over the others. So it's incredible how it goes. I used to say that there is a new main model each week, but even many per week. So it's growing very fast. But what is SAP doing? No, let's make that shift in our story. So this is the full view, what SAP is doing in terms of AI, and we will walk through this level by level. So on the top, you see Joule. No, that's the co-pilot. I will show you in a moment. That's the digital assistant from SAP. Then I mentioned that the idea is that it's not just reactive, but there will be agents which are able to do things on their own. We will talk about that. Embedded capabilities, what is in the middle of the slide, is where SAP already built in AI into the standard software. And when I say standard software, then you mean S4, SuccessFactors, Ariba, IBP, you know, all the solutions which we know. And it's embedded. So as a user, you use, let's say, S4, and now just one screen is smarter. And, you know, technical people would know that there is AI behind it. But as a user, okay, you just use it, and then now it can do some nicer things. But it's fully embedded. No, it's you know, you don't really need to do anything to use it. And then there is the AI foundation, which is like the technical layer where all the models are there, and that makes the whole thing possible. So I will go in more details, but already at this point, I want to emphasize that what you can do pretty much depends on your SAP backend. So Joule, the agents, and the embedded capabilities are only available for S/4HANA Cloud public and private customers. So that means that you have to be in the SAP Cloud. No? And it doesn't matter if it's public or private, both are okay, but it's only for those kind of customers. Simply a rule from SAP. No? We can discuss if you like it or not, but this is the rule. The rest is available for any customer. So the AI foundation, the custom AI capabilities, they are available for anybody, for the cloud customer, but also for the on-prem customers, even customers which are on ECC or customers which are on S4 on-prem. Okay, so I want to make this, I mean, this session is not about licensing, but at least this is important to understand, that once we go through the different areas, then they are available for different type of customer. But the good news is that there are things which are available for anyone. And of course, I will focus on this because I know that everybody is interested in that. So let's go one by one. Let's start from the top. As I mentioned, it's a digital assistant, something like ChatGPT, you could say, but directly built into SAP systems, in S4, in SuccessFactors, and so on. It connects to your system, so that's a big difference between ChatGPT and Joule. It connects and it can interact with your system, and everybody asks the same question, so I already mentioned it now, that it respects your authorization. No? So what you get from Joule completely depends on your roles in the system. So let's look at it, just a very quick demo of how it looks. But before I go into that, what you see here is the My Home in S/4HANA. The home page where you have your to-dos, when you have your apps, when you have some inside tasks. Now you can, of course, set up your screen the way you want. And then in the upper right corner, you see this diamond icon. If you click on that, then Joule comes up. So Joule is this purple thing on your right, and then you can start interacting with Joule. So what can you do here? One thing you can do is, you have to type in your question. Next year, you will also be able to talk to it in human language. Now it says find sales orders. Now it gives you a list. You click on open, and that it opens on your main screen. So basically, Joule interacts with your system directly. Now you got to where you wanted, but you have a question. No, like on the screen, for example, you say, "Hey, delivery status. What is that?" No, you don't know as an end user. So you can ask Joule, and Joule gives you an answer on that. So here I always like to explain that why is this interesting that it gave you an answer? Because you could say, I can always Google. No, you can go to your browser, Google, and then you get some explanation. But here it's curated by SAP. So they make sure that you get the right information. If you Google, then you may read something wrong because, many of you will know that S4 comes in public, in private, in on-prem. It has different versions. There are many configuration options. So as an end user, it's a high risk that you are reading some wrong information, and you will not know because you are not supposed to know how your system is set up and which version and so on. But here it comes the right information. So that's valuable. So of course, this was just a very, very small glimpse of Joule, but it can even do more things. So what you saw in this is that it helped me to navigate. So there are so many screens in the system. I don't need to know. I can just ask Joule, and it gets me to the right screen. What you saw that it helps me to get some additional information, some explanation. What you didn't see here, but it also can do, is to do transactional work. So now I just went to the sales order screen, but I could also ask Joule, hey, please create a sales order for me for these products, this price, quantities for this customer. If I miss some information, Joule will ask me. So in a back and forth conversational mode, I can also create a sales order. I can follow up on the status and so on. And also, and the fourth thing it can do, it can even make some analytical diagrams. So I could say that, hey, I created some sales order. So can you give me how my sales performance over the last 3 quarters, and then it creates a chart for me on the fly. So let's move to the next layer in our story. So the embedded scenarios. Here there are a lot. No, you see on the screenshot here there are 340 scenarios as of today. They go across the different backend systems, S4, public, private, and all the other systems that SAP has. I put here the link so you can look at it yourself and find the ones which are interesting for you. I will give few examples. No, 340. I'm not going to do many, but just few. This is also my homepage. It's a little bit nicer setup with more colors. And yeah, you see in the middle of the screen, recommended. So that means AI is giving recommendations to the end user, which Fiori apps might be relevant for them. And it's honestly, it's very nice because I know even experts sometimes share with each other like, hey, this app is really good. Do you know it? And no, not everybody knows it because there are so many nowadays. I mean, by now we have thousands of apps, so it's hard to know all, even in your area. So here AI helps you for the end user to say, hey, I've seen you are using these 5 apps. I think this another one could also be good for you. Again, based on roles again. Another simple scenario is that AI can give a summary. So imagine you have to make an update to your sales order. You did the update, then you click on one button and it gives you the summary. So you can send this summary back to your customer and say, look, I made the update, what you asked for. Here is the latest order information. Simple, but useful. Another one, which I like a lot because, this works really, really well. It's called Document AI, which means that it can understand PDF documents. So what you see here is that now we got a purchase order as a PDF attachment to an email. The Document AI, first of all, gets the email and gets the PDF and then scans the PDF. So, there is OCR here. Then it understands the fields and how they relate to S4, and then it can automatically create a sales order request, which as a human you can approve or change or reject. This is really a powerful scenario. Here, what you see, it's already a more advanced case. No, this is already an agentic case, where you are working with disputes cases. So there is a disputed amount, there is an outstanding payment, and then the agent in the background is analyzing the situation, making recommendations, and then as a user you can say, okay, which recommended action you want to accept, and then it will actually execute that action. It will contact your business partners and so on. So that was a short glimpse, as I said, the 340. We cannot discuss all of them today, but at least you got the idea that these are ready-made. You just need to activate them and then use them. You don't have to train them. It's just a question of activation. But let's go into the AI foundation because, well, as I indicated in the beginning, I find that very exciting because it's available for all the customers. So SAP calls them the kind of like an AI operating system as a kind of a metaphor. No, it's not really an operating system, but like a metaphor. No, like it's like the foundation. No, for everything. So all what I showed before is built on this foundation, but you as a customer and we as partners, we can also build on this foundation. So what you find here is 40 plus models. So basically all the models in the world, which are major models, because SAP has partnership with everyone, really. So they partner with the Microsoft, so that you have the OpenAI, the GPT models. They have partnership with Meta, Anthropic, AWS. Yeah, you name it, everyone is there. So the real value here is that all these models are provided by SAP. So they are secured, tested, and governed by SAP. Some of them are even hosted by SAP, and they are commercially offered by SAP. So that means that these models are changing, as I said, not even weekly, nowadays daily. So if you create something, if you use a certain model, there is really high chance that later you will like to switch to another model because it will be better and cheaper. But it is complicated, no, because it's probably from another company, so you have to have another agreement. You have to read the small prints and the conditions. Very complex thing. And nobody likes to have all these contractual discussions, and it takes time. And then the developer could probably will be done in a day, but the whole negotiation takes weeks. So that can be solved because all these models are now on BTP. So if you have access to BTP, then yeah, you can use any model from this 40 plus. So there is only one hand to shake, and probably you already even have that in place. Flexible pricing, because you pay by token. So if you use little, you pay little, and little means cents. And then, yeah, if you use a lot, then the price goes up. What is also interesting is that it's easier to switch models thanks to the prompt optimizer. So, when you interact with the model, you write a prompt, like what you also do probably manually in ChatGPT. But if you switch to another model, probably the same prompt is not perfect anymore because the model has its own behavior. So to make that switch easier, SAP created in a partnership the prompt optimizer. So it will rewrite your prompt. So if you say that, okay, I want to switch from one model to another model, then it will rewrite your prompt to work better in the new model. This is very interesting. And then, just a few weeks ago, at TechEd, SAP announced their own models. So that's new. All this time they had only models from partners, and now they have their own models. So here you have two models. One is specific for tabular data, so working with structured data in SAP, not only text-based data. And the ABAP model that speaks for itself, that helps you to write ABAP code. This foundation also has the ready-made services like the document AI, which I was just explaining. Remember the scenario that we were scanning PDFs and creating sales orders from it. That's working really, really well. Here on this foundation, we have also tools to extend Joule, because Joule comes with a lot of capabilities, but maybe for your own specific custom solutions, you want to teach Joule how to handle those. That's possible. Here are the tools for that. And also these agents, which I touched not so deeply yet because it's still a relatively new topic. But here you also have the tools to build your own agents. So now I would like to kind of shift the gear a little bit. This was so far the introduction of what are the possibilities, and now let's talk about how to use these possibilities. And what I notice here that customers find it challenging how to start with it for these reasons. They are wondering what can they do with it. There is so many options which we want to start with, which is high, which is reliable. How do you make the business case really from this? And then generally, there are so many other things to do. So it's also a question of, everybody's busy. So for that, we created this approach, which we call innovation coaching. And the main message here is that, we all, probably you also, I've been 27 years doing SAP work, so I know SAP projects are typically big and heavy, and you think that you will need many months, sometimes years, a big team, heavy, big investment. But this AI world is different. Here we are able to start with something very small in few hours. Then we go to few days, then we go to few weeks, and only then, if it's already very proven and we have to scale, then maybe we talk about months of work. So this is an important thing to understand, that it's very much possible to start small. And the first step we see in this is the AI Explore workshop. So this is an approach which we created together with the organization inside SAP called the App House. They are specialists in these kind of approaches, and we created this together. So this is a workshop format where we bring some concrete outcomes. So the most important outcome is that we identify AI use cases which are in your business. Because I think that's what we see. People look at all these possibilities and then standard, custom, and they say, okay, but which is the killer application for my company? And that, of course, for each company is different. So there is no generic answer. That's why we have this workshop approach, where we have the methodology that by the end of the workshop, we have the use cases identified, where you, of course, with the engagement from your business, from your IT and us. In that workshop, obviously, you will have a better understanding of the AI strategy. So the story, what I was telling, but in a lot more details. And also, we will inspire your people about AI, the possibilities of AI inside SAP, and that excitement is useful as we go forward. So here is just a example agenda. I don't really know to go deep, but we have a very clear worked out approach where we can really guarantee that by the end of the workshop, we have use cases, and then we prioritize them, and then together we will select the best one to start with. So it's nice that I say it, but I think even nicer if a customer can share their experience. So here I have a short video from Promotion. He will introduce themselves, but with this company, we went through this process. So we asked them to describe their experience in this video. So let me play it.
My name is Luc van Elk. I'm the Executive Vice President of Promotion, the Netherlands BV. Promotion is a company who helps our customers with their brand supporting products. These are promotional items, products you see in the marketplace, in retail, but also, for example, in bars, in restaurants. Our main customers we work for are companies like Heineken, Jägermeister, and William Grant. We work with SAP as our backbone system. And already in some of our processes, we started to work with AI. Think, for example, about the design process. There we use a lot AI to help us to come up with nice designs for our customers. But also ChatGPT is already part of the day-to-day work of our employees. But we have a lot of very time-consuming processes in our business. And we started internally to look at some of these where we could really save time with the help of AI. Some of the things we thought about were our sales process, the whole order to cash, order procure to pay process, and master data. Then we reached out to SOA People, who is our long-term partner on the development and hosting and maintenance of our SAP system. And together, we looked at the different scopes and defined that the main process we wanted to start with AI is the procurement process. Our employees spend a lot of time in communicating with vendors across the world, looking at statuses, looking up quantities, prices, delivery dates, the impact on our stocks, on our sales orders. And in this, so we had a workshop where we looked in detail at the whole procure to pay process, and we defined a dashboard with the help of AI, which can help us to save a lot of time for our employees and have a good transparency on the purchase orders, the vendors, the quantities, etc. Now we are in the middle of that project. We finalized the detailed blueprint workshops, and the next phase will be that we look at the dashboard, which SOA People will present to us in a week's time. For us, AI is something which we will work with for the future. If this project is successful, the other ones, like the sales, master data, will be next to come. I think this is a very good journey, and we can learn from each other. Success.
So yeah, as you could hear, This is exactly what I was describing. No, the promotion had interest in AI. No, they were already using a little bit ChatGPT and things already internally, but then they had the big question how to apply it to their main business processes, which are of course in SAP. And then in the workshop, we identified the procure-to-pay process, something which we couldn't have decided before because promotion didn't have the AI expertise. We didn't, even though we worked with promotion for years, even then we couldn't have identified only ourselves. But together in the workshop, we came up with this process. It's really adding huge value to them. And yeah, it's just the starting point. So this is we already have so many ideas how to take it further. And this customer is still on ECC. Of course, they have plans to go to S4, but they don't want to wait with AI. So we are building it on BTP, on the AI foundation. And that means it runs now with ECC. And when they are going to be on S4, then it will continue running on BTP, but then connecting to S4. So a nice example of how to get smartly small, how to get started small, and then grow from there by clearly demonstrating the value to the business. Okay, there are some other examples as well. Creation of sales orders, we talked about that. In another case, we were monitoring industrial ovens and from there predict product quality. But also in our own products for asset management, we have a chatbot, so you can look up maintenance history and additional information about your equipment or circulation pump here in the example, and so on. So there are more examples where in short amount of time we can create very clear value. So to sum up my story, the key takeaways, I hope you can remember these points. One point is that AI is really transformational for business. The capabilities are growing by the day. It's really, if you follow it deeply like I do, it's truly amazing. I say transformational for business too, because in other aspects of our life as well, but for sure for business. Then SAP, what SAP is doing is to embed AI into the business processes. That's SAP's mission. No, they don't try to be the best AI company in the world, even though I said at TechEd they announced 2 new models. So they start to get into that space as well. But still, mainly they don't invent everything themselves. They rely on other models which are coming from partners. But where they stand out is that they embed it into their business processes and allow us also to do that ourselves. So SAP has a strong focus as a German company on ethics, safety, and governance. I mentioned that on the AI Foundation, you can choose from all leading models in the world, but they are provided by SAP, they are secured, they have their own governance, their screening. There are different data privacy measures and options for you. SAP nowadays, of course, talking about AI for Europe, so kind of a sovereign AI solution. SAP is in the lead with that. A few days ago, probably you read in the news. So this is where they differentiate from vendors. And then to get started, our recommendation is this AI Explore workshop, and as you could hear from promotion how their experience was. This workshop is half a day or a day, as you could see. So yeah, quite a efficient way to get started. And with that, I finish my story, and then we still have some time for Q&A. So I'm curious if you have some questions.
Thank you, Tamas, for this presentation. I see some question. Do you get them on the side?
Yeah, I can see that. Do you have any examples for finance and controlling? So yeah, there are many, of course. So maybe we can talk about the controlling review booklet, which is an application where you are looking at your cost centers. It's a lot of numbers on the screens, a big table of information. Obviously you have many cost centers, and that may be quite challenging to interpret. And then there is a button on the right, which is create a summary. You just click on that button, and then it gives you some explanation in English or other supported languages, which is much more user-friendly. But then there are also agents, accrual agents, which is clearly in the finance area. I could go on and on. The point is I presented the AI features catalog. I had the link. You can look back in the recording if you didn't catch it. And there you see the 340 scenarios currently available. You can filter by finance, and then you have immediately the full answer. And those are the embedded scenarios. And then, of course, Joule itself, as the Copilot, has also a lot of capabilities for finance and controlling. Again, you can look into the SAP help of Joule, and you find the full list. Okay, so
Tamas, if you go in the chat also, you will have some questions also in the chat part.
Okay, yeah, I will try to speed up to cover more. Is Joule accessible with S/4HANA on-premise edition via BTP? No. So Joule is for cloud customers, as I mentioned, so public and private customers. Technically speaking, you could find ways to actually activate Joule on BTP. Maybe that's what you mean. And then you can connect to your S4 system, but it will not have the skills because SAP provides the skills only for cloud systems. So it would be a little bit of a stupid Joule without the skills. Thank you for the explanation. I want to ask, how can I register AI Explore workshop? Just please contact us. We can also reach out to you, and we will probably set up a short call to explain you the logistics, and then we can get started.
Yes, to jump on this question, just Tamas, I put also in the chat the direct email from Tamas. So don't hesitate to ask direct question, or if you want some request also to Tamas. So you would you would find the email in the chat. So don't hesitate.
Thanks, Jeremy. And maybe the other one is also for you, sharing the slides.
Yes, it will be. So you will have the replay automatically right after the webinar. So don't worry about that. But in the chat, we have also interesting question.
Yeah, I'm going to go there. So do we need to install the AI Foundation in our system additionally? So AI Foundation is running on BTP, the SAP Business Technology Platform. So which is a platform many customers already have, or if you don't have it, then probably we should talk about that because it's a very important part of your SAP landscape. So there is nothing really to install. No, it's a cloud. It's a cloud system. You subscribe to BTP and you have it there. Could you please elaborate?
Yeah. So Tamas, we have some question from Nicola. Talking about generative AI.
From Nicola. I don't see that. I see another one.
Tap on chat.
In the chat, on top. No, can you read it? I don't see it now.
Yeah, no problem. Does such a document purchase order needs to be standardized? And he asked also if
yeah. No, so actually not. It used to be the case maybe 1 or 2 years ago. You had to work with templates, and SAP trained the model and so on. So indeed, not everything was working if you had something very specific, exotic things. But nowadays it works with generative AI, so it's super flexible. No, I mean it can not only in terms of purchase orders, but really any types of documents. So I mean, I've seen people who even scan the train tickets and all kinds of strange things, even damaged documents. So yeah, thanks to generative AI, it got really a lot more flexible. So no, it doesn't have to be really standard.
And we have another question from Nicolas. So regarding generative AI, does the information on that be private or become public?
So good point. So this is actually a differentiating point from SAP. So if you work with SAP and you get a model from them, then SAP provides the whole, let's say, bunch of security measures which they apply. No, and that we can look it up. If you need details, I can share it with you. But from they are ISO certified, really high standards. This is the game SAP is playing. No, they as a German European company, they want to show that they can provide more, more secure AI for European companies than if you go directly with American companies. So yeah, but of course your data doesn't go out. They are not training on your data. Of course, it doesn't go to competitors and so on. Let me take one more. Could you please elaborate on the SAP license model with regards to AI, minimum amount of tokens? How do tokens get consumed or usage of Joule? Okay, so Joule comes in 2 flavors. There is base and premium. Base is free. And you remember I was saying only cloud customers can get it, so public or private. But if you are a cloud customer, you get Joule base for free. What can you do? Informational, navigational, and transactional patterns. I hope you remember when I explained it. And the last pattern, analytics, that needs the premium license. So then you have to start paying for it. It works with the AI units, which you can find the pricing information. We can help you with that. And if you and the embedded scenarios have also a license model. They all work. All Joule and everything works with user per month model, which is nice because it's predictable. No, you don't have to worry that my usage will go up and all of a sudden I will pay €1 million. No, it's per user per month, so you have it very clear from the beginning how much it will cost you. I think we are reached the end of the time. I don't know. Do you see any other important one?
No other questions. So thank you all for joining us today, and a special thank you, Tamas, for your insightful and practical presentation about this trendy topic. So if you'd like to learn more, don't hesitate to contact us. As you can see, I add in the chat the email of Tamas. So I wish you all a great day, and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.